Since his second season in the NBA, Luka Doncic has been a legitimate superstar as well as a clear top 10 player. But ever since that point, while he has maintained otherworldly, incredible production, he has not taken that next step to truly solidify himself in the conversation of being the best player in the world, at least in my opinion. I would say right now there are about 3 to 5 players who it's really difficult for you to rank Luka Doncic above, and I believe he fully has the potential to surpass all of them. So in this video, I want to talk about what Luka Doncic can do to make himself the best player in the world next season. In my opinion, there are 3 things for Luka to improve upon to become the best player on the planet, and the first 2 are kinda connected, being his efficiency and his off-ball movement. Now, if we are just looking at his basic counting stats of 28, 9, and 9, you could argue that Luka Doncic is already the best player on the planet. But his efficiency is where it starts to be just the smallest bit lackluster. Luka Doncic is certainly not an inefficient player, but when we're comparing him to the very best in the entire world, we have to nitpick, and his efficiency could still be better. Last season, Luka Doncic shot 46% from the field, 35% from 3 on 9 attempts a game, and 74% from the free throw line. And while these are not bad numbers by any means, you need your efficiency to be a little bit better than this, in my opinion, if you are going to claim to be the best player on the entire planet. And part of this comes from Luka Doncic's off-ball movement, or lack thereof. He doesn't really move around a whole lot to get himself open shots and easier looks, which he could convert at better efficiency. And the other part of this is that I think he is a little bit too reliant on his three-pointers for someone who just isn't truly elite at them. He is a very good three-point shooter, but he also is an elite foul drawer, an elite driver, he has a good mid-range shot, he has a good post game, and he has a really nice floater package. So when you're able to do all of these other things, you shouldn't really be shooting 9 three-pointers a game when you only shoot 35% on them. And if he is going to continue to take this many threes, more of them need to come off the ball on assists from teammates. And let me be clear, this is not entirely Luka's fault. Much of this blame falls on the Mavs for not surrounding him with really any other good playmakers. They just got rid of Jalen Brunson, who was arguably the second best one on the team. Tim Hardaway can do it a little bit. I'm hoping Christian Wood coming in will create some more gravity, and he'll get Luka some open passes to the three-point line, passing out of the post. But overall, some of the blame still does need to be placed on Luka. When you watch him play, there are many times where he just kinda pulls the James Harden thing. He just kinda stands around when he doesn't have the ball in his hand. He doesn't really know what to do. And while Jason Kidd could run some more plays for him off the ball, some of it's just hustle. The guy just needs to run around more and have some more energy. And that brings me to my other big issue with Luka Doncic, and this is by far the biggest thing for him. If he can improve this, then the other 2 things don't matter quite as much, and that is his defense. Luka Doncic has not been a good defender since entering the NBA. He is not. He has improved on that end, and he has shown signs at points of being able to be good for a little while, but consistently good defense is never something we have seen from Luka Doncic, and much of this has again just been because he doesn't have enough energy. He's not in good enough shape. However, if you've been seeing any pictures of Luka this offseason, he appears to have gone through the exact same transformation as Nikola Jokic went through last year. The dude is looking fit. He is very clearly in the best shape of his career, and it might help him immensely on both ends of the floor. This could give him enough energy to run around more off the ball, and it could also give him much more energy on the defensive end to stick with players on the perimeter, and a little more strength to handle them in the post, because with his size at 6'7", he could be a very versatile defensive player. And while unfortunately I don't think his athleticism will ever reach the heights of being a great shot blocker or someone who really has a super defensive motor, but he doesn't need that. He doesn't need to be some defensive player of the year level player to be the best in the world. He just needs to be really good, which is still asking a lot considering where he is now on that end, but he does have the tools to do it. He's an incredibly smart player, and just like Larry Bird made all defense teams despite not being athletic. And he did so thanks to his length and his basketball IQ, and there's no reason Luka Doncic couldn't do the exact same thing. And if you combine that with some better efficiency on the offensive end, this dude could be the best player in the world. Now, real quick, I do want to point out before I finish that some of you are probably thinking, well, Luka Doncic, he doesn't have enough help to be more efficient. That's the reason he's not. I hear this argument a lot by Luka fans. And I want to say again that it's not entirely on Luka. His help is part of it. But when you look at seasons like, let's take Nikola Jokic last season, or Steph Curry in 2021, I don't think either of those players had more help than Luka had last year or the few years before. In fact, I would argue that Jokic especially had less help than Luka had last year, and yet he was still much more efficient and a better defender. Similar with Curry in 21, he has become a legitimate positive on the defensive end in the last couple years, and he was significantly more efficient than Luka has been at any point of his career in his incredible 2021 season. So while yes, Luka is being held back somewhat by his lack of help, we've seen other players who are in the conversation for being the best in the world still manage historic levels of efficiency despite not really having any more help than Luka has had so far in his career. With all that said, do I expect Luka to make the jump all the way to the best player on the planet next season? Probably not. I don't think he's going to fully solidify himself in that spot simply because there are so many superstars in the league peaking right now that it'd be kind of insane to. He's got to be better than Giannis, Embiid, Jokic, also Curry and Kevin Durant, who are still there in their primes, and even LeBron James to some extent. But do I expect him to at least get himself truly into that clear top 5 area, into that legitimate is he the best player conversation? Yes, I do. I think Luka Doncic is going to have the best season of his career next year. We're going to see some significant improvements on defense, and I think his offense is going to come along just a little bit as well, so that even without a championship to his name, every NBA fan will have to legitimately question if Luka Doncic is the best player on the entire planet. Thank you for watching.